Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share, here to offer my service. My intention, I'll drop the link here in just a moment, and open space for a panel to emerge. And my intention is to serve. I was renewed with, I am just filled, renewed, just abundant with faith and inspiration today, brothers and sisters. I really am. I hit go live with just a big old smile on my face and just smile on my heart. I'm feeling good today, brothers and sisters. In my time, I must have cried already like 7 or 8 times today. I mean, and it was not tears of sadness. Let me tell you, just holy cows, allowing my heart to overflow, and then the waterworks come. It was just an inspiring day. And you know what? I do have thoughts, but I'll go ahead and create that opportunity for those who wish to join the panel. The link is dropped. It's now pinned to the top of the chat. And I think all are welcome until they demonstrate they are not welcome. Well, that just seems fair and makes sense, right? Praise God, man. That was one of the things I was thinking about earlier was the ability to reason. The skill of reasoning, that ability has been manipulated and used against people. Sometimes inadvertently, sometimes unknowingly. And but the idea of reasoning. See, earlier today, I was considering my faith. I mean, just recently considering my faith. Over the past few years, I have learned of evil that goes beyond reason, beyond reasoning. There's no logical conclusion for some of the things that have happened in our world, in history, and that are happening right now. Damn it. Where was the oh, yes. So learning about things in the world that really truly defy reasoning, and then experiencing things in my life, right? Dealing with other people. I've experienced things that defied logic. It just makes no logical conclusion. It just does not make sense considering the facts and what was available. And so that was the thought I had today, is maybe that's where faith is. Faith is beyond our reasoning and logic. How beautiful is that? What a gift from God. The expression of life that we get to share. Holy shit. It's like so amazing that we get to live every day. Hey, dumbass. Thank you. Praise be. And hey, thank you. You got the message, brother. Good. I respect. And greetings to all of you, sincerely. Today, I am feeling okay. So all right. That was one of the realizations I had after the men's group this morning. When I joined fellowship this morning, actually it's the hey, there you go, Bryant. There's it's the church who put on the men's group this morning. Um, the message to the men, it's just so beautiful and succinct, and it's what it was confirmation for me. I've seen a lot of discussion here online on YouTube about what a man is and is not. It really kind of matters, and I think this is the time for us to figure it out. I believe a lot of what I'm talking about regarding faith and forgiveness and gratitude, all that, that's gender fluid, man. That's everybody. Right. But there is a different role, and I am a man. So I want to speak to the men. Our role here on earth, all of us men, is to be leaders. Okay. To lead the women and children around us to safety, to offer safety, a safe space for women. The truth of these words, with the reminder of how much men are failing today, it moves me. And I know I failed to do this in my past as well. So I'm speaking from experience. Avoid the guilt you'll feel, right, by making children and women feel frightened because of you, because of your presence, or because of your patterns, your choices, your reactions. Shame on us, man. Shame on us, men. Because men have been leading this world, men have been controlling the world, at least in the direction of many things. Hey,
what's up, Jack?
good to see you, brother.
Yeah, it sounded like you needed examples of men that were messing up, and so I hit the link for you.
Hey,
But go ahead.
respect,
You,
man.
you you were in your stride. Go ahead. Keep going.
Hey, well, my opinion is, you know what? Praise God. This is all God's design, but there are lessons to be learned from our past and from each other. And men, we can do better. We can all do better. We can all do better with our encouragement, with our inspiration, with our with our kindness, with our generosity. We can all do better. It's easy when we try. When we choose to do better, we do. It's really that simple. Hey, here was a good reminder. Again, I tell you, my life, praise God, I am so blessed. Oh, here. But let me point this out as well. I want to encourage each of you, if you're facing challenges, if you're facing the economic anxiety that's probably coming up in many people's lives, where I'm at today, my faith is in the future. Man, when I think of the possibilities of success, what the different ways in which success could emerge and materialize in my world, I get excited. You know, I don't have expectations on what I think is possible anymore, but I sure do have excitement and hope. So my faith is in the future. But what I do, how I live, is I am so grateful for today, right now. And I check into right now as often as possible. And as a matter of fact, now I don't really leave it very often. I try not to leave the right now. So I'm grateful for today. And that gratitude, man, that brings forth a joy. It feels grateful, full, filled with joy, like abundance. And it's just a change in perspective, a change, a willful change in direction of your awareness. So, the lesson I was reminded of, a lot of lessons I was reminded of today, how to love without condition or expectations. What a concept. To love for no reason other than the fact that you get to love. Wow. Hey, and the greatest one I was reminded of today, we got a lot of people that fight over, argue about religions and interpretations of histories and books. But the messages of the divine, it's beautiful. So I think I heard it the most simple today. Worship the good, the beautiful, and the true. You know, our egoic minds, through our confusion and our judgment, will overlook a lot of good things. We'll miss out on a lot of beautiful opportunities, moments to appreciate. And the ego, it fears what's true. I mean, it's like a little game, I think, that God created for us. A realm of infinite knowledge. And we've got these unique veils of consciousness in what we each know. And it's magnificent because it just changes at every moment. Every one of us is changing and unique. So thank you for your patience, Sterling. But hey, the worship the good, the beautiful, and the true. And I started thinking about that. Those three there's no separation. Beautiful is good, right? Well, is beautiful true? Hmm. Hmm. The truth, I know, is not always beautiful. Sometimes you got to look for the beauty in the truth. You got to look for the good in the truth, but it is always there. That's the fascinating thing about this life. It truly is a mind game. Don't limit it. Don't limit your mind, your perspective. Don't limit yourself on what you think you can do, what you think you can learn. Because we truly don't know the future. We really don't. We can guess and predict and argue and even gamble. I mean, we can do whatever we want, but the future is going to be what it is. Right now. Right now is where our body and our heart exists. So how often is the mind there with the body and the heart? Um, what I think happens is we've got this world where confusion has proven to be very profitable throughout the past. And I just was reminded, Sterling,
Yeah.
a conversation is a dialogue, not a monologue.
You know, you never interrupt a man when he's on fire, though. You had a thing going there. You know, yeah, you definitely in your feelings today, Jack.
I I did get in my feelers there for a moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Hey, and respect. Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Thank you for that.
I did. I did. I think I might have told you. I dabbled in some stand up comedy, just amateur shit. I was never, I sucked really bad. But yeah, I can spot a man when he's on the rip. I'm not gonna step on anybody else's joke or let you
Hey,
keep going.
respect for that. Sterling, though, your audio is very, I don't
Shoot,
know what to do.
hold on.
I don't think it's the volume. I don't think it's the volume. I think it's, yeah, you got it. Producer Moose, blessings, brother. Thank you for joining. And, you know, I keep thinking, Flo, too. Thank you, brother. Um, what was my thought? It was about you guys in the chat. And what was that? Oh, I don't know. It's, hey, where I got my feelers. We'll go back to that. You know, took me a long time in my life, even as adult, to grow in comfort with responsibility. To actually say the words and to hear how illogical that sounds. Um, I didn't trust myself. I had in early in my youth, I was taught with obedience, and obedience means you don't, you remember, and you better figure it out. Um, this society profits from us not trusting ourselves. The lack of trust in ourselves is what creates the excuse not to trust others. And what we've got in this world today is a lot of enablers, a lot of excuses and blame have been shared, and that's actually, if you kind of look at the news from a different perspective, it's gossiping. It's just talking about what other people did. Um, Usually the problems that other people found. And it's like, we live in a world that's nonsense. It's, oh, here, I will come to a point, please, and thank you. Every day we awaken, brothers and sisters. I encourage you. This is what I've done for myself. And I tell you what, I feel like this is the right path because it follows logic and reasoning as well. So follow logic and reasoning, come to your own conclusion through experience, but don't just dismiss and reject what I or any others might say. That's the problem we have between us, not to distract, but communication between us. It's between people. When I say us, I'm referring to humans, those who have, the same biological structures, similar. We are, where am I? Whoops. Our communication skills are lacking. And through the conditioning of our society, people really haven't trained themselves to stop and think for themselves. Communication is how we're going to establish the relationships we want and we need. You know, something I've been considering from my own experience and witnessing in others who might be dealing with, challenges with relationships. Trust that there is a purpose, right? I think the way we work is, our character is refined and developed. Our character being our personality, our behavior, what we kind of put forth. It's all developed through our mind. Our mind is a result of our memory and the inner knowing from our experience. Why did I start down that way? Guys, hey, I welcome actually any topic you want to talk about is welcome.
Well, I'm adjusting my audio here. Can you hear me
Thank you.
better?
A little bit.
Sorry.
Hey, anything from the chat as well. Um, Even if you're not up here on the panel, you are welcome. I don't really know what to offer anymore. This is where I'm at. Here, actually, I'm going to share a little bit about more me again, if you don't mind, Sterling. Now you're all ready. And
Yeah, go for it.
okay, hey, that sounds beautiful. By the way, whatever you did with the sound sounds great.
Got you.
Um, Crap. Oh, the other day I was talking, I shared, something I accepted about myself, the possibility that, all right, one of the things about me is maybe I am an entertainer of some sort. I got I got a little timing and humor on occasion.
Not me either.
Fair enough.
Go on.
Well, more so, well, there's many ways to say what I hope, but I hope to present and share the Christic through me. I've been working on trying to improve that. And I honestly think it's much more simple than we've been led to believe. It's not as complicated as it's not, well, praise God. I don't know what anyone else may experience or understand. I know what I did. And I know it was truly I experienced personally within myself a transformation when I chose to allow my my memory identification of myself, who I thought I was, I'll never do that. you know, that stubborn, foolish man that I'd grown into. Wasn't by choice, but that guy got shattered, fell to pieces. And so it allowed me the opportunity to kind of let go, so to say, and let God. And I've been testing this. I mean, not testing, not by no chance. Matter of fact, I I don't believe I have challenged tests to God. But I've received plenty. Praise be. So, really, all we got to do is surrender to that which is. That which is now. Because that which is now, all of the past, the billions of years, and all the stories of history may or may not have been true, and what's going on outside in the world right now may or may not be true. We don't know what's going on in the world, the other side of the world. So they say, right? Supposedly, right? Full moon today. There's those energies that people might be feeling. Full moon energies. And So, as I understand, on the other side of the world is supposed to be a lunar eclipse. Why did I bring that up? Oh, there's lots of things happening out in the world, supposedly, allegedly. Like there's wars and all. Oh man, there's some sick stuff going on right now. Allegedly. I believe it is. But in the right now and the all that is, there is the good, the beautiful, and the true. What is real is true. Is what true real? For the one who believes that truth or holds that truth, it'll be real to them. What's real to me, brothers and sisters, the only thing that's real to me is right now. There's a lot of lies in the media. There's a lot of lies in our memories. There's a lot of lies all around. But I believe if we join each other, even if people who don't like each other, if they can join each other in the present and be honest about what they desire in the future, if there can be an agreement for the future together, past problems are solved, right? That's the there's I know there's finesse and details to that, but really the point I was getting at is our future starts today. It's time for us to start bringing some attention towards the future, and men especially. Let's start becoming honorable for honorable men as leaders, leading ourselves and those around us, ensuring safety for the women and children. And, men, we can become fathers to children of the community. We can care for those other children. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to start caring about others more than we did in the past. You know, golly geez, man, that is, and some of those children chose to leave the home because being in the streets with no others may have been safer for them than the home with their confused and hurt parents. And see, this is what I've known this all my life, and I'm sure I'm not ordinary. I mean, I'm sure I am ordinary, and that many of you have known this within yourself as well. This world is not right. It's not healthy. It's full of hypocrites and liars, a lot of deceivers. It doesn't mean that we have to be distrusting. Doesn't mean that, we can't help others improve. Because that's why we're here. We're here to help each other. We are here to serve. That is the reminder I received myself today. Did I have it pulled up? Oops. That's why I had that stuff pulled up. I forgot. I was going to have some things. There it is, this guy. I think I let the show stop. Sorry about this, man. Brothers and sisters, the viewers, this is what I was trying to pull up. Another guy on YouTube. I have not met him, and I don't know a lot about him, but this guy is a beautiful. He presents some beautiful messages. Aaron Abkey. Doggone it. Maybe tomorrow I'll have some stuff prepared. Um, uh, he was talking his video there, the one that I linked there. His video reminded me about our role to serve love, to serve who we are. That was it. Dang, that was what I was going to clip from him. Was say yes to life. These are his words. Say yes to life because life is perfect. And then give yourself, offer yourself, serve yourself because you are perfect. This world convinces us to prove our unworthiness. This world convinces us to live with regrets and failures and, holding punishments and debts over our heads, over each other's heads. This world is insane. So, brothers and sisters, guess what? The Savior is you. Yeah. The Savior for you in your life is within you, with you, as you, for you. It is there. Your Savior is you when you surrender you to allow God's will to move you, God's love to move you. That's what I believe. The world has been full of evil and hate, but seek in your Lord. Think about what that means. Who is your Lord? What is your Lord? A Lord would be that which rules you, over you, perhaps limits you, controls you. That Lord is you. Now, there is a greater Lord and God far beyond us. And that's where we get confused. This is where I was confused. I spent most of my life not knowing God. And guess what? Without knowing God, I missed the good, I missed the beautiful, and I withheld the truth. I never admitted I was diseased. I never admitted I needed help. So withholding that truth, I knew it, but withholding that truth just furthered my sickness. I know it. And the first truth at some point I convinced myself I wasn't good enough. It came along with the belief that this world could not be changed. I no longer accept either of those limiting beliefs. I know for a fact I am good enough to change this damn world. I'm just trying to figure out how. Yes. So, a few reminders, brothers and sisters, a few reminders is have faith in your future. Logically, if you lose faith in the future, dude, that you're conceding yourself. You're saying, okay, I'd rather have despair. I'd rather be depressed about the future, or I'd rather be angry. That's bullshit. We can be excited for the future even when things look tough, when they look challenging. That's when you prepare. And here, brothers and sisters, we got a lot of people today, right? And especially in these YouTube communities talking about similar things and suggesting this preparation mindset. But a lot of these messages are being delivered out of fear. Yes. Spend a little bit of time logically, inventory, make sure you've got, an emergency kit. Make sure you got a little planning prepared in case the power goes out, the community falls apart, then you've got something care for yourself and perhaps a neighbor or two. It's always good to have friends in times of trouble, so think about others. But the real prepared, brothers and sisters, the prepared should not overcome your joy of living right now. Because right now is where life is happening. Let's not miss out on right now because we're arguing about the past or arguing about what someone said or what someone thought or you know, let's find joy today in preparation for the future. And the best way to prepare, there's many ways to prepare. The best way to overcome is to establish your relationship with God, right? With the divine part of you, the Christic, the pure. You can allow yourself, right? Your memory of you. I've I this is what I've done. Jack, there's like a throne here in the chamber of your mind between your ears, right? In your brain. There's a processor and there's a throne of control. I've given that to the Christ, to Jesus, Yeshua, that being of that concept, okay, that is in my mind. And as What's Up Cynthia offered us, I think it was yesterday, the beautiful reminder, I see through the eyes of God. God created these eyes. I see through the eyes of God, and I have the mind of Christ with me to guide me. And I listen within to my energies to really try to know why am I feeling these feelings? What is directing me to think these thoughts? Why? I ask a lot of questions. And brothers and sisters, we learn more when we ask. That brought up a memory that I considered whether or not to offer. A thought. Ask questions, brothers and sisters. Ask questions within yourself. Be prepared to get within yourself and outside of yourself. Ask questions, but be prepared for answers. And don't ask questions you don't want answers to. That's just wasting people's time. That's oh, that was my observation. You ever notice how many people do that? Holy cows. There, I might have done it right there. Ask questions and don't care about the answers. We live in a bizarre and amazing mystical experience, but I do think it's kind of like the Matrix. I think we're just dreaming, partially, but it's partially true and we're partially dreaming. So sometimes you got to figure out which is which is real and which is just imagined, which is not real. Sometimes I don't know, man. But what I do know, brothers and sisters, is that if you want to, make yourself be perfect, I'm kind of remembering my memories and many Christians who I know. They claim to be believers, claim to be followers of Christ, but boy, my behavior was not respectable. And I shared the reason, the hypocrites of the hypocrisy from many Christians is what showed me that God wasn't in some of those churches. Um, why did I go there? For Sterling, is that you? Are you the Sterling Ray, or is that a different Sterling?
Uh, that's a different Sterling. I'm just Sterling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do? Do you? Are you a creator? Content creator?
No, no.
Oh,
I just yeah. I just like to
all right.
I just like to hop on these panels. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I try to tag the creators in the description after the stream. So
Yeah.
if anyone does see a stream and they want to check them out, they can.
You know, you're a nice guy, Jack. There's there's a lot of differences between us. And that's one of them. Another one is you strike me as very busy. This is not meant to be any sort of critique. You strike me as very busy, trying to figure it all out. You you're figuring it all out, and you're thinking all the time, and you're contemplating, and you're going in the past and in the future, and you're trying to tie up these loose ends together and make it all make sense.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for seeing that. I That is exactly what drove me nuts in the past.
And then there's me, who's just trying to find a big booty Latina and take her home.
How amazing. You know what? And yet we are both perfectly where we are intended to be and how we are intended to be. Isn't that beautiful? And we're both right here.
I appreciate it.
You know, hey, Sterling, what you said about me was true. I literally drove myself nuts trying to figure everything out.
And you're not done. And you're not done. And it's something very noble about wanting to save humanity. You know what I mean? But what I've selfishly decided is, like you said, to serve myself. That I am my own God, as you said, and that really the the biggest change I could make. Yeah, that would be the biggest change, right? The change to myself.
I'm not sure. I lost you right at the end. You
Well,
said here, but I want to offer you, brother. You have been on a different path. Our different paths brought us different experiences and different challenges. Different A lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities. And what you were saying, man, I'm not saying this arrogantly, but honestly, I am kind of a smart guy, and God has blessed me by what I've been allowed to learn. And after driving myself nuts trying to figure out this world and to make sense of all this crap that I knew, I finally surrendered and I started seeking knowledge of God. And dude, Sterling, you're
Yeah,
in the perfect place, but you know what? I want to encourage you. I know you mentioned you were living to protect yourself. Look out for you. Brother, there is so much joy to be found in discovering your purpose, your way of serving others. I'm if you have any interest, I can drop my info. I'm easily reached and I'm happy to work with others who are curious.
Well, I appreciate that.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's all. I appreciate it.
All right. Cool. Hey, and welcome Smith.
hey,
I
good afternoon.
can I use hey brother, I knew something yesterday that might have been helpful and I forgot to offer it.
I'm good on that.
All right.
I'm not living in the past. I just got a
Well,
quick one to share with you. We got John
all
1
right.
1. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now, if you look at what that word translates to, it's logos. And they've taken those logos and they've turned it into a thing of desire for people. It's false idol worship. It's all about what's on your fabric. We all know reality's fabricated, and you reap what you sow, like a seamstress. The seams of reality are rigged. I got a whole thing
Rick,
on it. Just want to jump up there and share that. God bless.
the rules of man are rigged. Um, Brother Smith, you offer some brilliant and beautiful perspectives, but the fear is apparent. And the man's what you said, yeah, the ways of the world regarding the way that man has developed through the corporate legal oppression system, police states, fucking evil nonsense. Those ways of the world are rigged. Okay, man's laws, the legal ease that's been constructed and defended for far too long, in my opinion. It's rigged to protect the oppressors and the owners. And then everybody's been deceived into playing this stupid part of ownership, and fucking everyone and everything is treated like a thing, like a commodity or a product to be, you know, used up and tossed away the American way. Gotta fill. How many friggin' landfills do we? Fuck, oh dear. Lucko dear. Lucko dear. I'm gonna improve and reduce my profanity. It's I have that intention. Lucko deer is a beautiful replacement. I said a lot there, didn't I? I say a lot sometimes, and
As you should, as your
thank you,
channel.
thank you.
I say a lot too. Like, for example, I say that sometimes, not you, but sometimes I think that people can forego working on themselves, and they can do it. They can trick themselves into thinking they're doing it for altruistic means, so they're going to do it for other people, but really they just hit a roadblock within themselves and decided that they couldn't really dig any deeper within themselves. So as a benefit to others, they decided to fix other people's problems as if they had even begun to scratch the surface in their own. So I would rather be someone who's humble enough to say, you know what, who am I? Who am I to try to fix everybody else's problems? I don't want to overlook the ones that I have.
This is interesting that you bring this up because I was trying to think about this myself in my own past. I used the problems of others, through my role as especially as my role as a union rep, as a labor guy. I used other people's problems to be a distraction from my own. I think that's what you were describing. I used to do that. And the funny thing is when I did turn to focusing on me, that's when everybody else left. And it was like, that's when I was, if I could have had some support working on me, holy shit, who knows what I could have accomplished. Jack, in 62 years, only one run-in with law enforcement. Though 20 of those years I was in addiction, the rest when I turned my life around. How are they to blame? Hey, Chuck, bless you. Thank you for your continued donation, continuing support. Not just the economic and the financial contributions. And for you, and is Regina here? I meant to watch for her name. To you, some of those who have been frequent with your donations, I want to share with you that, when the opportunity comes up for me to share, I think of you. And when I do choose to splurge myself with a little treat, I think of you. Sincerely, what you offer is received with gratitude, and do love. Man. Love is transformative. Did come back to the blame. Brothers and sisters, it's follow this logic and reasoning, okay? It was logic and reasoning that my stubbornness that prevented me from accepting the reality that there was a God, a loving God. My ignorance and my stubbornness is I don't have time to look at that stuff. I don't need, I got to worry about the bills. I got to worry about this job. I got to worry about their problems. Blame no one. Chuck. Blame no one. Okay. That's very hard to do. But it is not our place to judge. And this is where I was going to get to. Very simply, when we rid ourselves, when we choose with our mind and our free will, when we choose to hear ourselves coming up with excuses or blaming others for what we feel or, what we're thinking about, if we're blaming or making excuses, guess what? It's untrue. You're making yourself untrue. Okay, so to become the living truth, it's simple. Set your mind and heart, believe, and here, maybe this is where the Christ comes in, where the Jesus comes in. I don't know. But you got to believe if the impossible is possible, first off. Believe the impossible is possible. That's one of the things that Jesus showed, right? Man comes back from the dead. That's impossible. Well, it's recorded and, it's part of the faith. You don't have to believe in that story, I don't think, or maybe you do. I don't know. But You do need to accept the impossible is possible, because when we are living lives of misery, when we're still hurt about the past, we got these big guarded walls around us, keep people out of there. We got to keep ourselves safe. When all that happens, it's because we've denied the truth. It's a symptom of denial. The world we are living in is a symptom of denial. It's not honest people. Honest people wouldn't live this way, with jails overcrowded and fucking children and women going hungry. This wouldn't be happening. Not with honest people in charge. This is what's mind-blowing to me. And so here's my faith. No, CIA. What if, and Chuck, you're going to agree, huh? You're going to enable disagreements with me? I've seen you do that. You like controversy, it seems. But I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying these are facts. There are people who are either intentionally or unknowingly following systems and laws, regulations, that allow the profits from wars and oppression and censorship and manipulation. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm suggesting, guys, we are the solution. I'm trying to offer hope, and I'm accused of, holy cows. Well, you guys have seen what people have said about me. I look forward to knowing. What does anyone have to complain about if there is no blame? I'm not really complaining either. Are you from Paulie's stream? I'm thinking you are probably. So this is what I mentioned, our news and media. And tell you what, CIA, hit the link. Come on up. This is nonsense. Who is to blame the war? People. And let's not focus on blame. Let's focus on accountability, responsibility, correcting the problem. Let's correct the problem instead of focusing on blame. Who gives a shit who's to blame? There's people who are confused enough that they're sending missiles at each other. They're going and murdering each other. There's a lot of hate that's been fueled and built. So who is to blame for war? What if we are? What if we're to blame, you and me, for not doing enough to stop it? Sometimes the truth is ugly, man. Sometimes the truth is ugly. But beauty and ugly? It's in the eye of the beholder. So find the beauty in the truth, that we are the solution. Are you willing to change yourself, CIA? I mean, you were offering the claim that I'm sitting here on my streams blaming and complaining. So are you willing to change yourself? I'd welcome a change from what you've offered here in the chat. All your complaining, disbelief, and negativity. I freaking love it, man. Anyone is This is fascinating as well. Well, trolls will be trolls, you know. Golly geez, I shouldn't even give any time or attention because our wants and our needs, who decides those? I mean, these are some of the things I've been faced with myself. Who decides what I need? Who decides what I want? I do. You decide what you need, you decide what you want. God, the creator, that which is real, time, the experience, that will decide what you receive. See, the results are not ours, are to create. The efforts, the intentions, well, the intentions and efforts are ours to make. We can predict and plan for results, for outcomes, but there's a lot of variables involved in the outcome of everything, such as like today, full moon energies. We are influenced and affected by so many variables affect what we do, our reactions, our desires, our stuff like that. There are infinite variables involved. And yet this world has been conditioned to this BS nonsense of authority, experts, given all these labels and definitions and punishment and separations. It's all a bunch of nonsense, guys. Brothers and sisters, it is truly nonsense. I'm assuming I've been pretty generous with the mods, and I'm assuming since you have one, that's probably the real one. Welcome, Polly Boy. Dude, we could have the world changed by 2024. We could be actively moving the entire global direction by the end of the year. It's possible. I've said it before. In a week, in a day, miracles, man, they are spontaneous and instantaneous. It only takes a moment for a choice to be made, and all it takes is a choice for a different perspective to be found. And if you find within yourself a new perspective, a renewed perspective, right? Starting over, allowing yourself to be redefined, not by what you used to think, not by the past, but to be redefined by what you bring forth, right? And if you focus on bringing forth truth and good and beauty, if you focus on bringing those things forth through your experience for others, that's your path. All of our paths brought us to today. I and my community are doing that. We focus on ourselves, not the world we cannot control. It's fascinating. I wonder. Well, that is good to know. I do love you guys. And, Paul, you are welcome to hit the link. You've You are welcome to hit the link. We can discuss your behavior anytime you want, man. Matter of fact, you know how to reach me. So, Paul, don't even really know why you're in the chat. Oops, what am I doing there? Um, especially after whatever. Getting your content, whatever. This egoic nonsense is hilarious. It is hilarious. I am very grateful though. You know what? Honestly, I was thinking about that. I think a lot. I do think a lot. Sterling was right. But these days, I'm not trying to figure out. Listen to this distinction and consider it for yourself. I'm not spending time trying to figure out things or people. I am wondering. I do spend time wondering with the intention to understand. See, when you're trying to figure out someone, it's typically out of fear for the purpose of punishment. You're too afraid to ask questions. What? You don't have to figure out. We get to wonder. And honestly, that was part of the transformation of my life. I drove myself nuts trying to figure everything out. I didn't have God in my life. I didn't understand love. I was a confused man, and therefore I had the habits of addiction and drinking and porn, all that stupid crap. Actually, porn came later, in the midst of all of it. Gee, good Lord. I've done so many shameful things. I'm not proud of these things, but brothers and sisters, I do encourage each of you to recognize you may have been confused. You may have misunderstood. Um, you are worthy. Oh, it's okay. That's a good one to tell yourself. It's okay. With compassion, not to enable, not to bullshit, but with compassion. It's okay. You are worthy. I am worthy. And you can recognize your value when you get out of the confusion and all the hateful thoughts, all the focus and direction on everybody else and what everybody else is doing. And they said this, and who cares? Who cares? Sincerely. There is a divine expression of you that is available now, today, and from now on. The divine expression of you is faithful, it's patient, it's truthful, it's caring, it's authentic. Our minds create these limits that prevent us from being authentic, from being open and honest. Oh God, if I say that, then they're going to laugh at me, or they might punish me, or they're going to, who cares? Be truthful. If you're not open and honest about what you believe and feel, how are you going to know if it's real? How are you going to know if it's true? Each of us can become humble to love. Humble to love. What is the loving answer? What is the loving choice? This world wants us to limit our choices between, you know, garbage and trash for our politics. I mean, our choices are limited to garbage and trash between the Democrats and the Republicans. Holy crap. And serious, if we think we can't change this, if we think we cannot change this, why would we want to think that? I don't know why I wanted to think that I could not change the systems. Systems meaning the governments and economics, this bullshit wage slavery system. You know, it's profitable wars and oppression. There's genocide. People are really dying from this shit. This is nonsense. We have real criminals in positions of authority. You know, they've become confused, and the confused have been supporting and enabling the confusion. And we, brothers and sisters, each day, while God awakens us to the day, we have the choice to awaken to our greater spirit, to the greater potential of what the day is offering, or we can keep our mind focused on the past and get up ready to fight the same battle again because the battles never end, and we'll imagine new ones. And people are nuts, man. People are nuts. I did hear something about bobbleheads. I think bobbleheads would be pretty funny. I could see it, and it's authentic. There's guys, there is so much. And Paul, if you're there, there are so many opportunities to be found, so much potential to be discovered, Paul, between you and I. If we have conversations that are beyond your damn opinions of me. Opinions, brothers and sisters. It's up to each of us. We all get to have opinions. We all get to think thoughts. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's real. Just because it made sense to you doesn't mean it's true. So, brothers and sisters, we live in a land of confusion. Don't fall in with the lost. I think many people are waking up today. Many people have been conscious and aware and awake far longer than me. Jesse's been here. He shared some of his life, and I know many others have been very aware. Praise God and welcome, brother.
I felt like you were needing an interaction with me, Jack. And I mean, I was down there observing you, so I figured I'd humor you a little bit.
You know, I appreciate it because disagreements can't be resolved without a chance, right?
Okay, let me ask you this, because I want your opinion on this. I want to know if this is fair or not. Am I allowed to, and again, you could argue this is just me like taking the low ground, which gives you an opportunity to take the high ground and look better in front of everybody. Is it cool if you don't come to my area ever again and we just kind of meet on your ground? Which most of the time I tell people do the opposite. With you, it seems I have to approach everything from an inverse perspective. It seems to get better results. So I go, hey, I don't even want to be meet on my home field, on my ground. Just stay away from me completely. I will come to you, bring you whatever benefits and privileges come with my God of all media like presence, and we can have a conversation.
I can respect that.
All right, then there we go. We're on a roll. Because I thought for sure it's like, oh, well, what the fuck? He wants this, but doesn't want that. And I get that. I get why people would think that, but it's just like maybe that's what I need for me, right? I'm very traumatized. I'm very insecure. You know, we've got the rap before. So, you know, I'm very sensitive too, right? I'm a very sensitive man. So I just need my like area curated and pure for me to like grow as a broadcaster. That's what I need for me. Jack doesn't need that. He's a consummate professional, and hello, he's the love guru. So he's like open season 24/7, 365, and we love him for it. But it's not me, and that's okay.
Hey, damn it, Paul. You say a lot, and I want to address some of the things you say, but Where did you take us there? Um,
Why is it that everything I do did you see the way your buddy Flow State immediately started lying and then called it him intuiting? And now they're all doing it down there. It's pretty pathetic. No matter what I do that I succeed at, these folks still sit and chat and hate on me for it while they do nothing.
I know.
So the new rub is I'm bad because I'm working with someone else who's learning how to make tiny houses because we're going to like buy land and put houses on them and live there and be self-sustainable and possibly open it up to give people like a greater deal because we're going to get all the materials cheap or for free and give everyone a better deal than they would get anywhere else, right? By far, put the work in, do the actual work, and also possibly open the idea to create a community if that's available, which we've seen how these panels go. So I'm just going to put it like this. The tiny houses are going to be far apart. There's going to be a lot of space between them.
Uh-huh. Damn it. Hey, you said something. Oh, I wanted to encourage you. I understand what you were saying with your boundaries, and I respect your space for your creativity. I do not want to throw a wrench in you, you know? And so I can respect and honor that, but I want to encourage you to consider, brother. I trigger egos. It's a pleasure to get to know you, Paul.
Yeah, again, I mean, you can characterize it however you want. Anytime that I get animated or passionate, I'm immediately characterized as triggered because I set a boundary and have a wish, and it's not respected by the same folks who ask me to go deeper in relationships and work with them. It makes no sense.
I know. It is a little illogical what's being asked of, but that's kind of the whole concept of what I'm offering. These boundaries, there's a time and place for all things. Okay. I won't say they're unnecessary because I didn't live your life, but I am suggesting with me, it's maybe an opportunity to test different approach or something. Okay.
I understand that you always have an answer to other people's problems and their consciousness and how they could change it. I'm not asking for it again. I don't understand why it's necessary to offer what isn't asked for. Rule number one in this guru, non-guru thing is for something to be given, it first must be taken. Well, if someone does not ask you and they regularly tell you that they're not asking you to offer anything and don't want anything offered, you should be happier if you're non-egoic to just share time, energy, attention, space, and purpose with that being. Why does it always have to be more than what it is in the now for you?
Here, I'll explain that. Because frankly, what you've offered me, I don't want it. I know.
That's fine then. If you do,
let me not quantify.
No, I accept that. That's the most authentic thing you've ever said. You don't just want to share time, energy, attention, and space with me and purpose. You want more from me or with me that I don't wish to give.
No, I want the time we share together to be spent towards purpose instead of your egoic nonsense.
Okay, perfect. Let's start now. What is our purpose here today, right now?
Well, my purpose today, as I mentioned at the beginning, is to I am here to serve. The way I am serving is I am opening space for fellowship and conversations. The intention of space for fellowship and conversations is to discuss faith, encouragement, inspiration, maybe even the topic of conversations. How to communicate better, how we can all communicate better was another thing I was discussing.
You remember like the AAANA, like rule number 1 was keep it in the eye?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I consistently hear you talk about what we all need to be doing as if we're all on the same level of consciousness and we all have the same results and or opportunities and as if we all share the same community. And we obviously don't. We
are sharing this experience of now. Now, what is now? Where is now? Now is where we are. And together now, there is a we. There's no separation between any of us. And brother, we've been raised in a world where we've been taught wrong, and good men tend to try hard, and by trying hard, we make things tougher for ourselves and each other. I'm guilty of it, and Paul, I think you're doing it. You may be trying too hard. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Here I go again. And Paul, you were right. I am guilty of offering things that have not been asked for. I offer things and I cause offense when I think people might find help from what I offer.
Again, I'm not offended, Jack. I find it to be an insult to others' intelligence and to your credibility. Mm-hmm. Why are you offering help to others who are doing better than you in all ways? It makes no sense.
Well, your conclusion that others are doing better than me in all ways is debatable for sure.
Okay. Again, I hold the perspective, which you could claim is egoic, but I'm not constantly at this point offering you help, even though I think I'm doing a lot better than you and have a lot more options and opportunities, which you keep coming to me for to ask me to work with and about. Well, so I'm just kind of confused how we can kind of have it all ways at all times. It's a little bit weird.
Yes, the confusion is within you, and you can resolve this confusion very easily when you stop placing yourself in your mind above me.
I'm not. I'm placing the results above yours. I'm placing the results above yours.
No. You're placing your perceived results above mine. So you're placing you as the authority of judgment.
No,
no,
I'm not the authority of judgment.
I'm not going to argue. We can either
conform to you or get thrown out. We know the rules here.
Present, and let's have conversations instead of arguments.
Okay.
Because what I don't understand, where my confusion is, okay, and it's not just you, it's with many others who were in my experience and are not. I don't understand what prevents you from seeing the value of not only accepting me for who I am, but kind of exploring what I'm offering as far as working together and, trying to get some shit done. You haven't even explored those offers because we're looping on your fucking opinions.
Why do you need me online, somebody who's thousands of miles away from you, to figure out how to do something in your life day to day with your community you don't have?
You're wrong, dude. That's not. You're missing.
You don't find that to be bizarre?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll own this. I've come to this realization. I'm here. My local pastor, he and several others, I've recognized what I've done is I have shown my pain. I've been vulnerable. I've exposed myself and been honest and authentic about my situations. I
don't see that.
I know. What prevents you from seeing that?
It's not anything prevents me. I just have a different perspective.
So explain your different perspective. You chose a disagreement.
I think that you feign a certain level of vulnerability and you let out a certain level of truth in order to get endeared to the crowd in order to be helped toward your goals.
Okay. Well, here, I will allow, you're right. And in the past, this is where I was going with that. This is what I recognized. I showed pain and because I'm reducing the feeling of need. In the past, I felt a need that I needed to find a solution to stop losing things in my life. So I no longer need anything. And this is what I mean. I showed my pain in the past. And maybe it was trying to get attention, trying to get someone to pay attention. But what has the consequences of my choice to do that, conscious or not, is people have missed out on the faith that I clearly have, the good that I clearly offer.
No, that's the thing. And if we're willing to have this conversation finally, then I'm all for it, because
Okay.
the same people who you think are missing out feel like they're missing out because they would like to come to a different place with you, but seemingly are unable, because it always circles around that idea that you're not complete, more has to be done, you need someone else to do it. And when it doesn't get,
Sorry, who are these people other than yourself?
I'll keep it in the eye. I'll just speak for myself. I'm just speaking in general about what I believe that I've perceived. But if you'd like, I'll take my own advice and I'll just keep it with what I perceive.
Please do, because you've built a lot of, you've said a lot of things about, with a lot of assumptions that were false, dude. So please, what you've experienced, absolutely. I haven't given you reasons to distrust. You've accused me of being duplicitous.
I don't know why you make that statement and don't ask me why I have reasons or not to distrust. Again, that's a projection and an accepting of your projection for me. And that's part of the problem. That right there is why I can't trust you, because you're consistently projecting onto others and making that reality only you experience true for them.
Huh.
You have given me plenty of reasons not to trust you, and you won't accept that. And that's part of the problem, is you're never repentant either for your wrongdoings. And you won't even let me speak my mind and my feelings either. This is why your woman and child won't deal with you.
Hey, actually, see, you've never spoken to my woman.
You literally took the phrase,
Paul, the reason I was interrupting you and the reason I placed you in the back is because of your narrative and maybe the energy I offered. You're getting yourself worked up. Paul has chosen to leave the back. And Paul, I don't think you need to return until you're willing to accept responsibility that you're the problem with me. Your disagreements are false. Your accusations are you. You, Paul, you describe you in all of your accusations. Guys, I can't be the only one who sees it. I cannot be the only one who sees. Paul, no hate for you either. I wish you would just accept. You've done nothing wrong with me, but there's a lot of room for improvement, all right? Brothers and sisters, I hope those who are viewing understand my view. I'm not picking sides here or encouraging others to pick sides. There is a distinction between the two of us, though. One, I believe Mr. Paul is demonstrating a fear-based mindset, and he's very strong. I have a lot of admiration and respect for him, but for whatever reason, he's chosen to offer a lot of inaccuracies of me. But you know what? Hey, brothers and sisters, regardless of this, that used to trigger me too. That's probably why he immediately goes to the below the belt. He wants to hurt. So I'm no longer triggered by that lie. There is some truth to it. My ex-wife and my son have chosen to live in a world. They're existing this. They are sharing this time. My ex-wife and my son are sharing this time on earth right now. But in the world they live in, I don't know. I'm obviously not worth a phone call. And Paul thinks, so I can have complete control of my soul and creations in life. Not a corporate wholesale. Oh, that's not for me. Paul, dude, you seriously, you don't see it. You do have a materialistic mind. Okay. And what, Paul, pretty sure the way I've been following faith for a number of years, and you say a lot of the right words, brother, but you're focused on money and fear, punishment, avoiding getting caught, avoiding what? I don't know. The willful defiance there's a spirit of defiance, and recognize there's a time and place for that. But I'm not the enemy. I'm not out here, those who tune in, I'm not out here asking for really anything. I am here to serve. My prayer for the world is for peace. I'd said at the beginning of the stream that I was moved to tears several times today, and it's cold out here. It's cold. Woke up and it's snow, dusting, but like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, cold. And looking at the sun, actually. Welcome, Cynthia. God bless. Good to
Hi,
see
Jack. How are you today?
you. I am feeling blessed. How are you?
Blessed. My mom asked about you today. She said,
Your
"And how's your friend Jack?" I think she thinks we live in the same town, city. And I was like, he's fine. He's fine. And then she said, "Who's that other one I don't like?" Oh, he's still there. She's like, "He's just so hateful in the things he says." I said, "I know." She said, "Next time you come over, you're going to have to teach me how to get on that YouTube. I have some stuff I want to say." And I was like, hell no. But I wanted to come up here today. I just witnessed what happened with you. And then I didn't see what happened yesterday, but I heard you talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
And
What are your thoughts?
I think you have a good heart. I think that you see something in Paul that the rest of us can't see. I've watched you on other platforms when everybody was like anti-Paul, anti-Paul, anti-Paul. You still spoke up and you said, well, I think we still could have, we should still see the good side. And I could tell you felt like that you didn't get your message across. But, you did speak up and it was noticed. So
Thank you.
I do see it. Again, I don't understand y'all's dynamics, but that's not for me to understand. It's you that I consider that I'm around to encourage. So I trust that you're going to make the right decision. And each time you speak up, it's going to become easier and more natural for you. The only thing I can suggest is make sure that, like, if people are attacking you viciously and maliciously, like, it's their heart is broken. And sometimes that's hard to see when we're in the midst of being attacked. So continue to try to see the good in him. I think, I've heard him say that he has a special fondness for you too. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen between y'all, but y'all do have a unique connection. But don't let him or anybody else play you. Like, stand up for yourself. You're a strong person. You are a strong man. You're a man of God. You still come on this app every day. You're a man that is honest. You don't try to hide your mistakes. We know the craziest stories about you because you
I
told
know.
So that's a man of integrity, and that is to be respected. Don't ever devalue yourself, and especially don't let anybody on this app devalue you. You are somebody.
Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
You have been a gift too, as a messenger of faith.
Thank you.
No lie, you triggered me early on,
You're
but
supposed to.
there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was so I would pay attention to you. I
I
don't know.
always trigger people to see how they're going to react. Are they going to react in a childish way and throw fits? Or are they going to react? How are they going to react? So I can know what they're made of. You know, you can always meet people and they can always put on the mask of the politeness, the representation. But when they're mad, their true selves are going to come out. So you and Flow State, you both did not like me at first, but now we have the strongest connections. I have the strongest ones with you and Flow. So
I think it's the authenticity, to be honest.
mhm.
I don't get a lot of fakeness from you. I really don't.
Thank you.
Confusion, maybe.
A lot
Go
of
ahead.
people don't always understand because I'm kind of different. Like people in my real life say, you're just kind of different. Like I just kind of bounce through life and walk on faith. Remember that song "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi? What?
Here, I'm sorry.
What does it say?
It's Miss Margot. She's my first version of Paul.
I've
She's
seen it.
yeah. I don't believe he's honest. Well, Margot, what if you're wrong? What if
You
you're
don't think
wrong, Margot?
Jack's honest or Paul's honest? Mark, is she saying you or Paul?
Me.
You?
According to her, he claimed he traveled all over in 2018. I did. The USPS says differently. Hey, Margot, your sources. I wonder which sources you asked. Did you ask someone who's fucking doesn't know me? She went and asked someone who's sweeping the floor at some building and claimed to be at the post office. Margot's an idiot. God.
Well, she comes
Oh
here.
yeah, that's
too. She
huh?
comes here a lot too, and she has nice things sometimes to say.
I haven't seen much
Well,
nice. And it's fake from her.
Oh, it's fake.
She's one of those. I don't know. You know what? There's some. I don't like trying to describe people, but I know fake. I know liars. I know false accusers. And this is the world we live in.
Indeed.
Paul,
What do you say?
according to Paul, okay, this fool never takes ownership for what he fucking says, but according to Paul, Jack is obviously delusional. When folks realize it, if they ever realize it, here, boy, will they be embarrassed. I think most of them know and just use them for their own trip. Well, what if this was actually about Paul? What if Paul was actually describing Paul? Could the facts actually apply? Because I'm pretty confident I'm not delusional. I know there are people who think that. But Paul, there's a lot of people that think you're a guy to be trusted, and you're obviously not. There's so much evidence of you backbiting and duplicitous. The moment something happens, you're so to turn on people you think are who think you are they have a relationship with you. Paul, you're so confused, man. And Cynthia, what you said is true. For a long time now, I've had people judging me and punishing me because of my faith in Paul. But not. Go ahead.
But you're not wrong in having it. Like we all have somebody in our lives that we have a true love kinship with that other people are like, why? So don't ever be embarrassed. Like that's a gentle heart that you love somebody and you have compassion for somebody that others don't. That means you can see something in him, which he should kind of pay attention to and acknowledge. But he doesn't because he has his own issues with his father. So
I think it's
It all
beyond
comes in
that.
together.
I have a theory, since Polly Boy likes to cast all these accusations and assumptions about me. I have a theory on old Polly Boy. His claim, he's bragging, of course, arrested for truth and rights over and over, equals actually serving the country. And he's comparing himself to me, claiming I'm sitting at home getting a government paycheck, which is a lie. But Paul, what I actually suspect is that as you like to accuse others of being willing to quickly have you thrown away, I bet you've done that to someone else, haven't you? I bet you fucking turned on somebody and they got punished.
Yeah, he has. He
And,
talks about it.
yeah.
Yeah, he
And
talks
then-
about every time he goes by his drugs that he just cuts out the middleman and goes up to the main guy himself. Like,
No, I'm talking about with authority.
same thing.
You know, because this is just arrogant nonsense. First off, competition. Hey guys, competition is juvenile. Okay, it's for games. Games are for fucking children. You want to keep competing all your life? Let's find what really matters. How authentic and honest are you?
Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
So
But I heard-
God-given rights and freedom isn't a good thing to compete over if there's anything to compete over. And Jack, have you ever had a career in the last 30 years that wasn't centric around the government?
Paul, have you ever had a career at all in life? Other than
Absolutely.
the
I've worked many different. I've never had. I've
You've
never
never had a
say job.
career.
I said career.
Okay, are we going to gangbang? Or are we going to have it back and forth?
Isn't that not
Well-
what you do?
So your standard for what you do is what I do. That's great logic.
Paul, you have not had a career.
So I am your
you
daddy.
demonstrate
After
a
all,
lack
you
of
admit it
loyalty.
freely.
No,
Your
you
standard
do.
of how you act is
Keep
how I
looking
act.
for
Okay,
a
all
daddy.
right. I'm not going to play this. You can either chill out or go home.
Will you ever answer direct questions?
Yeah, I always do. So thank you, Paul. Have a good afternoon. Your arrogance and your egoic patterns are just blah, 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 constant fighting, constant superiority. I mean, you're being a dick, dude.
Yeah.
And there's no point for it. It's like,
Paul wakes up angry every day. Fuck. The sky's blue today. What the fuck? Paul just wake up angry. You're like, damn, Paul.
there's a lot of people in this world who are suffering from delusions. I sincerely, Cynthia, I started getting into this previously, but the past year, it's coming up on a year with old Paulie Boy and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this earlier. It
Mhm.
gave me enough evidence to lose faith in humanity.
Don't lose faith.
No, it did. I lost faith in humanity, but I gained faith in God. Because only God could create such egoic and arrogant characters such as that. This fucking clown who calls himself a god.
Yeah, that's a joke. Or the Christ-like.
It actually-
that's
Right.
always my
Right.
favorite.
It
I'm
actually
like,
is a
how dare
joke.
you say
It actually is a
Christ-like?
joke. It's a joke,
Is he
non-joke.
serious?
Well, what about the
No, I'm
Christ?
not. It's a
life?
joke,
Yeah, you're
non-joke.
constant. Well, you're joking to yourself, Paul.
You
because
guys
you're
are inept.
constantly
You're
claiming,
inane.
Are we?
You can't figure out what's going on ever, anywhere.
Well,
Yeah, we know
well,
nothing.
that
You're
is
the
you.
all-knowing one.
Well, that is you, and you have a pattern of enablers who join you each day.
The
for
last
your
5
hangout
things I've
session.
said, you just go, that is me. And that's your answer for the
Hey, Paul,
for the
real quick,
situation.
that was fucked up what you said about Jesse and his girlfriend today. Like that. Why would you talk about those two people when they're not even there? When they
So
weren't
you don't
even at
understand
your
that I'll
page,
talk
when
about
they weren't in your chat. Well, that's a cowardice shit to say. Why would you attack Angeline?
that's
Why would you
attacking,
say any of the
describing
things
what
you
I'm
said
seeing
verbal
about
things?
relationship.
You talked about their relationship and how if they dig deep, there would probably be abuse. Like, why would you attack Jesse and his girlfriend. Why?
It's his nature. He calls it content, but it's gossiping. It's juvenile, competing, egoic gossiping, Paul.
It's
There will
sad.
be without insult or attack, Paul, there will be a come to Jesus moment for you, for everybody else that
You always
holy
know
shit,
what you know what everyone
holy
else
shit.
needs. What they're
Maybe
gonna
I
get.
didn't
Yeah.
have to be such a dick. Maybe I didn't have to be such a prick. And maybe that wasn't healthy what I was doing. And one of these days, Paul, you'll actually stop and reflect.
Are you guys the representation for Jesus and God? Because you're doing a horrible job.
Horrible without evidence.
If you guys are the Christians, once again, like always, who are the representations of love and acceptance and forgiveness, you're doing a horrible job.
Horrible.
If you're supposed to be better than me and doing better than me, you're doing a horrible job at showing folks that.
Mm-hmm. Paul,
Jack,
when all you do
The fact
is
that Jack even still talks to you, Paul, and lets you come over here after you blatantly disrespect him every chance you get, it shows that he's a loving man.
Unsubscribe and
Cynthia, we got it. You're going to manipulate and try to get me out of here. It doesn't matter.
Paul,
If I leave,
Paul.
I don't mind. I don't mind if he doesn't want me back. I don't mind.
You're not about to face me, Paul.
Help me understand. What is the benefit for me? I don't.
You have to decide that. You can't claim to know what's best for everyone in their life.
Okay.
Then always say you don't know what you're doing and what do I do?
Hey, Paul. Well, since we're dealing directly between me and you, I had faith and I thought there was opportunity.
We're not dealing directly between me and you. Cynthia's talking every 3 seconds.
That total deflection, dude. Back to me. Come on.
Okay. All right.
And look, I don't want the combative energies. All right.
Right. No, not at all. You guys aren't combative at all.
Paul,
you guys are very loving over here, obviously.
Well, I'm trying to. Cynthia's
trying is not doing. You know that.
I know. I'm growing. I'm getting better at it.
I know. Right? You're growing while also claiming to be in the position of knowing. I know. Gives you plausible deniability both ways. I know.
He's not backstaging you.
Right. And so, Paul, help me understand, after my experience, not your experience, my experience with you, what are the signs that I should continue trying to work with you or even have you on my platform?
The fact that you still have to ask why you should try to continue working with me?
You should explain yourself, because I will not make any assumptions with you. You've proven my assumptions to be wrong.
Well, we've spoken about practicing what you preach, which is detachment and disengagement from emotion.
I know.
And to be able to move forward in truth and purpose and meaning, and you've not exemplified it yet.
Well, hey, Paul, actually, based on the way you've treated me over the past year,
there you go. You're back to your emotions again. Based on the way you've treated me for the past year, you're going to choose a feeling and then react to it. I know.
No,
that's why you should continue to work with me. See, every question contains its own answer.
Paul, you're not going to continue to overspeak me, okay? Because what I'm trying to get you to do is come into the present. Bring into your memory all the bullshit that I've experienced, not just from you, but those.
Oh, I'd rather not do that.
I know you don't like to think about what you've done. You don't like to accept responsibility. Your denial. Paul, your denial prevents you from understanding. I put him in the back because I'm frankly he's saying I don't have self-control, but I do. You're
doing great.
Well, part of my method of self-control is respect for me and Paul. I'm not here to argue in front of the viewers, okay? I came here, I started the stream, the purpose of me. I live to serve. I find that I might be able to serve others some hope, some encouragement, maybe some inspiration through here. Arguing with you, Paul, about your opinions, it can be done offline. You know how to reach me. You've never tried. And so, hey, Cynthia, can I ask? I do want to put you on the spot, if I may.
Sure.
Sounds egoic,
Mm-hmm.
could sound blasphemous, but I want to say this as humbly as I can.
Mm-hmm.
If in fact there is a unique possibility that, oh, hey, let me broaden this out so it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's got to be me.
Okay.
If in fact God is using me with the purpose of being a messenger for today's time about what he was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the lessons I've been learning, there's a lot of people who talk about me. They don't talk to me. They don't communicate with me. I think there's a lot of people who claim to have faith. They don't have their own personal relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, I know for a fact that if people allow me into their life, I'm going to help their life improve. That's my goal. That's my intention.
Mm-hmm.
Consider God,
Right.
right? So I really think each of us become the living truth. We carry God's message for each other
Mm-hmm.
when we are authentic, honest, caring, loving, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that here, I was thinking of this comparison as well. I want peace on earth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Wars are started by strong-willed people of power. Paul is a strong-willed man who thinks he has power over others. Holy shit. Just like Putin and Biden and all the other people, there's people who think they have power. And that's why there's wars. So I think if I can negotiate peace with Paulie, that'll
Hey, Jack.
become evidence.
I think so
Just to
too.
comment on that last statement there, I actually don't think I have power over others. I've actually learned that I have more power over myself than others have over me. That's what it is that you're feeling
Actually,
for
yeah,
me. That's
true.
what's triggering your ego, right?
No, I'm not triggered, but there are many others who, because Paul, you've got a powerful presence. There's no denying that.
Thank you, sir. As do you.
Oh, shucks.
I didn't know you cared, Jack. Well, I did. See, this is the thing. Like out in public, you're so hate, and then there's another side to your love, behind the scenes.
I do love you.
The ones that hate me always fuck me the best. Am I right?
Nope.
There, I'll give them everything they need. I'll give Fat Cynthia something for a clip collection. There you go.
Oh,
For all
Paul.
20 people watching.
Paul, nobody's gonna be fucking
Nobody.
anybody.
I'm not offended with
Obviously, Jack, 3/4 of what I say at times like that, when I do that energy, you hear that tone, it's not real. They still haven't figured it out yet.
I
It
don't
fucks
even
them up. They
anything.
can't figure it out.
Oh,
God.
Oh,
Praise God. That's the only way we're getting through this motherfucking night. With a full moon and everything, huh, Talcott?
it is a full moon.
The creatures will be out tonight, and I'll be in bed.
Oh,
Long
dude.
asleep.
Hey, it's the slutty energies of Halloween too, isn't it? I went out last
Oh
night.
yeah, Paul's gonna get all the candy. He's gonna walk around and steal kids' candy like he does every year.
I used to love there's some real freaks and sluts that come out at Halloween. And
Whoa.
I used to love that time of year. But I went out
Speaking
last
of the
night.
devil, Scott's here, and he's a real ladies' man, so he says. I have no reason to believe that, but
I'm sure he was. I'm sure Scott was. Paul, I've actually seen you two, Scott and you, timing. You guys are funny as hell and quick with each other. I've seen some good energy between the two of you guys.
Paul's okay sometimes.
You are too.
Jack, you're doing so much better.
And Cynthia, of course, she takes the top square.
Hey, you know what?
Say it again so Paul can hear it, Scott.
Actually, I've been wondering. I do that so people don't have to deal with the logo, but
Lizzo down there pointing out that I might be pre-diabetic, saying I'd give Paul candy, but I think it's best not. Thank you, Lizzo, for looking out for me even on Halloween. I can't even have some fun.
Oh,
That's okay. Just drink some
It's
alcohol.
okay. I'll have the veggie sticks. You know, those little chips that are made out of tomatoes and broccoli, they say. Who knows what that shit
dude.
is?
Yeah, that stuff. I started thinking about that when I was eating some of those healthy replacement. It's like, why even bother? I don't know if it's real.
About nothing they give us anymore is real.
Facts.
Well, this is kind of the thing. There's a lot of things that are stacked up against us between the chemicals in the water, chemicals in the food, toxicity in the news, the bullshit in the media. There's a lot of, oh, geez. Snafu.
Oh, snaps. You just got an episode.
Did he
Echo.
backstage himself?
I put it back.
I
just
don't
saw
understand.
the
Why are you so heavy on the damn trigger, Talcott?
Oh, stop, Paul.
He's being
Stop what? Advocating
No,
for
you're
free,
being right.
entertaining
No,
broadcast
no,
here
you're
instead of
fucking
the usual
trying.
nonsense and
Shut up.
boredom?
Hold on, please.
Hey, Jack, Cynthia's trying to start shit, man.
No,
I don't-
you just bought
I
an
could be on any
episode. You
episode I
just got
want. At
an
least I'm not the
episode of
poster
What's
child
Up,
for
Cynthia
Pfizer and
Clifford.
population control.
That's true.
You just got
Again,
an
a true
episode.
statement.
I'm going to make you a
Snafu.
star.
I don't
How can you
care.
make a
You're
star
the
when you
fucking
haven't even made
population
yourself a
control
star
chick.
yet?
Go throw
Okay.
more pharmaceutical.
Okay. Go, babe. I don't care.
Cynthia's not
have-
a star yet, but she does have her own gravitational pull.
Please,
Oh.
Paul, you're a blimp.
Hey, let's get off these sides.
Someone will
Hey.
fuck me at least. That's
Hey.
one thing.
Aw,
I know.
I
least
think you've
someone
heard you
somewhere
say
will
you've been
fuck
with
me.
6 people your
You
whole
haven't been
life.
able to pull that
6
off in quite a
people,
while, I'm
6
sure.
people, that's all you've been with your whole life. You're
Please.
not exactly.
It's actually less than that.
Oh my God. So please, you are in
I
no
know.
position
Imagine
to
a
talk
man
about
showing
it.
discipline and self-control over his lower
Dude,
extremities.
yeah,
Amazing.
obviously,
Hey,
you
that
don't
actually
Wow,
is.
what an unrighteous, ungodly thing to do,
You wouldn't
Cynthia the
be
Bible
500
thumper.
pounds
You've
if you
only
had
been
to-
with 6 women. You should
But you
defile way more and
please.
show you're really a man. They reveal themselves in their
You
infidel ways the more they
don't
talk.
have
Keep going. I
discipline and
love it.
self-control.
I
So you
love
talk about
it.
nobody. At least
I love
people
it,
fuck me.
sweetie.
You don't
Let's
know
see the
nothing
real
about
you.
fucking.
Let's
You
see the
don't
real
know how to
egoic
be a
you
man.
rather
Your
than the
sex
Bible
game
thumping
is
fake
weak.
ass
Wait,
Your
Christian.
sex game
Let's
is
see the
weak.
jab
So you
taker
can't
and
sit
the
here and talk about
the
fucking when your
right.
sex
Talk
game is
over
weak.
me because you don't want to get exposed and revealed. You'd rather
Please.
everyone see what you
Hey,
show than who and
when's
what
the
you
last
are.
time you've been able to look down and see your dick?
There we go. That's
When's
a
the last
productive
time?
adult
That big old
conversation
belly,
for a woman
that big
20
old
years
belly
older than
right
me.
across the-
When's the last time you could see your penis?
Blowjobs?
But it was mine for the night.
I don't have to see it. My dick is in your mouth so often.
Just
as long
because
as-
you have a mouth doesn't mean you have to fucking use it.
Right. I'm more entertaining than you. Why would you play clips of you
You're
over
not
me? It's
entertaining.
bizarre. You don't even know how to do a good
Not
broadcast.
entertaining.
I know.
Oh, if your body
Well,
counts.
I think I'm going to go now and let you guys spin
Bye.
and
Have a
cycle
good night.
and
Take
just
care. Bye-bye.
overflow the room with
Bye-bye.
loser failure vibes.
Actually, Cynthia,
Bye-bye.
please.
You
Cynthia,
have to have more to offer.
Yeah,
I
Cynthia,
want.
could you go just have a
not-
snack or something? Put something in your gullet so that you don't keep yapping.
Paul,
Yeah.
Cynthia has shown more loyalty and respect.
It's not about
than
loyalty
you.
to people.
It
It's
is
about truth.
about-
That's your problem. Egoic
Well,
bull.
Paul, I can navigate the truth, but I cannot do much with the chaos. I know you call it content. I love you, Paul. I'm sorry, but
It's competition.
what do you want?
It seems
What
like
do you? All right, there you go. That's your choice. Fucking hey, grow up, man.
I don't know that it's content as much as a competition. You know, trying to edge towards the front of whatever the front means to them.
Well,
Oh my
he
God.
wasn't.
Cynthia, you're
wasn't-
playing into it quite a bit, though, too. I mean, that's
Oh,
Cynthia-
Cynthia gives no fucks,
Engaged.
y'all. Sad news
I
alert.
know,
Matthew
but
Perry from Friends
please.
died.
Please, for the love of Pete, I do not. I care for peace rather than victory, rather than out competing.
communication just
someone.
falls to an all-time low when that shit goes on. I mean, it's what's the point?
People behave as they've learned. Okay.
Well, I mean,
And speaking of, I'm sorry to interrupt, Scott.
Right.
Speaking of, we've got another attention seeker here. And actually a blessing as well.
Mr. Talcott, how are you doing? And Scott, you know what? I
Please
just want to say,
don't
Cynthia's
come
here to
up.
just start
Hey,
shit. You are a man of
Snafu.
peace. Jack is a man of peace. Cynthia's here trying to stir shit up, just so you know.
So what?
Help him keep the peace, Snaps.
Yes, please. Thank you, Scott. Yeah. Help me. Let's help keep peace. Welcome, London. There's a man of beautiful, kind, loving, smooth energies.
Hey, London.
You are real
Turn
soft.
the mic
brother.
up.
Yeah, let's pick you up a bit. I got you up now. Try again.
Test 1, 2.
Mic check, mic check.
A little better.
It's all the way up, but much better. Much better. I popped in and out on your stream earlier. I didn't really jump in the chat, but how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm vibing high, man. We had a nice panel over there. The chat room was lit, so yeah, it was good vibes. Good vibe.
Glad to hear. You
Good
know,
vibe.
hey, here's where I'm at. I am so grateful you guys are here. The folks in the chat are here. I'm not going to hold guilt or regret over, the failure to communicate with old Paulie today, but I kind of just wanted to share some time today. Honestly, I was so inspired with faith. I'd love more people to feel that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
Spill. What was inspiring you?
It was my thoughts, my prayers. And please, guys, consider this. We have the opportunity to use our minds to drive us nuts, to bring us all sorts of misery and pain and fear, or bring yourself joy and delight. Your memories are treasures that nobody else has captured. And there's beauty in your life that's unique for you. Today, my prayer is looking out in the sun, in the chill. The seasons are changing. It's cold out. And sitting in the sun, though, feeling the warmth and the peace, the power of nature. My prayer is for God, right? And I encourage others, please spend some time in prayer with faith that God is listening, because I think we all want the same things. My prayer is that the veils of confusion will be lifted, that the men and women with power and influence, their hearts are softened or strengthened so that they do the right thing. And all of us have power. All of us have influence in this world. We can all seek beyond our confusion so that we have the peace of knowing. The knowing of the I am presence, that perfected presence that is. It is the now, and we are a part of it. I hope to be a messenger of the truth of God's love, for the truth of God's love through the world at this time. This is the start of something big. I feel it. I know it. Because of all the people God's allowed me to meet, and that includes you guys. Even the confusing, challenging ones. Snafu, I love you, brother. But you are frustrating sometimes, my man.
You just reminded me, Jack. Sorry to cut you. On that note, hey, Snaps, I'm gonna need to sit down with you and interview you before you go to court, right?
Sure. And those
All right.
bobbleheads, I've got to watch out, because now I got Cynthia the jabbed after me. Paul's gonna sue me. Talcott fucking loves and hates me, and Scott's just sitting there fat. So I don't know.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an interview with Snaps, definitely.
Cynthia, do you really? Hey, can I ask an honest question, Jack? We talked
Would
about
you accept
getting
an
her, like,
honest
Cynthia
answer?
thinks her videos are going to impact me. You know what's funny is she's sitting here taking vaccinations from Pfizer, population control. We talk about truth and shit and real shit, right? We talk, and she thinks these videos with, yeah, it's funny. But are you going to take the next dose, Cynthia? Are you ready for the next pandemic coming? No, be real. We're talking about real shit. You could put that thing all up. I want to know, because Jack, you talked about how you did it in the military and then you didn't. See, Cynthia is a fucking poster child for following the fucking population control and all that bullshit. Cynthia is a fucking poster child for listening to them, putting anything in her body, and then fucking letting it fucking be transmitted to others. So are you ready for your next round of doses, Cynthia? Just curious.
Snafu.
Mhm.
Snafu. Holy jeez, man.
No, that's real optics, bro. We're second
No,
pandemic, third pandemic summit.
snafu,
Cynthia's going to be
snafu,
on your channel promoting that shit, right?
Right. Because you've heard
She's a
me promote
walking
it so
billboard for
much, right, Snap?
vaccinations.
Snafu.
Y'all actually bring it up more than I do. So you're really the
That's
ones that
because
promote it.
population control, because you're
'Cause
pushing
you're
that shit.
promoting it. I
You're
don't.
talking
No,
about
Y'all bring it up
population
more.
control and listening to the government. You're a
Oh
joke,
my
Cynthia.
goodness.
Okay. Okay. Coming from you, Snaps. Okay.
This is nonsense. I mean, did you see? You guys witness this? I want to ask an honest question. Lie. Jumps into accusations, spends time on a narrative, then ends with another interrogative question as though in some position of authority or superiority. Snafu, brother. You're nuts, man.
Were you no, that was Flo's. I think that was Flo's panel. And we asked him when does a woman start losing her I want to say
her
it was
value.
Yeah, her value. And he was saying when you're a single mom or when you have kids, like he doesn't understand women. So he doesn't understand how to talk to women. Like I never take anything he says personal. I never take it like it's an attack. He just doesn't know how to talk to women.
There's a lot of people around that just throw shit at the wall and they try and see what sticks. And then they throw more shit and try and see what else sticks. And then they try and attribute things to, oh, I have some kind of kindred spirit. I have some kind of forethought and knowledge about all this. And I can tell you who you are because, well, I know who you are and I know me. And of course, I could know who you are and how you put your fucking pants on, which is bizarre in and of itself, when somebody goes there. But people somehow think that they can look at a little screen in the corner of their room and measure up a man that's nowhere near them, nowhere in their realm, nowhere accessible to them at all, and it's just bizarre. Or a woman in your case, Cynthia. And I'd have to say, having seen your face twice rather than Snafu's once is a blessing. So
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Snafu has communication issues, not just with women. It's a pattern. There is an obvious, he's got some issues within that can be resolved. And here's the frustrating part for me. I'm seeing this, not just I'm seeing similar patterns of behavior in Snafu and Paul and Tommy. Many others. they're kind of this very similar characters.
Tommy's
something else.
Tommy's different.
I love Tommy too. I
like Snaps.
Tommy the pedo. How about that?
Well, actually,
Tommy the
yeah,
pedo.
that's
How about
right.
that?
I saw he said some things.
Yeah, Tommy the pedo.
But
How
London,
about that?
here, brother. What about this? I'm going to bring in the spiritual perspective, okay? God brings us things to help us discover what's within us. That's what these relationships do. They help us find our weaknesses, find our triggers so that we can grow. Allow the fools to be fools. Don't enable their foolishness, but don't let it get to you, my brother, okay? I don't think you do. But just that reminder, okay?
Yes, sir. Message received.
Amen.
And Jack, sometimes while you're trying to help people, like if you're trying to help Paul, other people may be watching and you may be helping them as well. So that's another reason I always encourage you to continue on your journey, even if I personally don't doesn't align with me, like that, like
Amen.
but you align with me and I want to support you. And if that means I that if me helping you means you're going to really help him, I'm okay with that. Just I know that I'm never going to be the one to help him, right? You know that, right? Okay.
I respect and honor that. I do see that. Thank you. And thank you for recognizing that. That was kind of my, I guess, excuse of continuing to try and
No, but
communicate with
you
Paul.
genuinely have that love for him, and I can see it and I recognize it. And it's deeper than YouTube. Not meaning that y'all communicated past YouTube, but the kindred spirit, you think about him even when you're not seeing him on YouTube, So I do recognize that. And I want to encourage you to continue that. Snaps wants to be like, I'm up here starting shit. Like, I didn't like when he came up here and said that stuff to you. Just like in real life, I'm constantly saying stuff like, hey, don't you talk to my friend like that. I would do that in real life as I just did tonight. So I'm not up here starting shit. I'm just up here making shits leveled out because Paul's going to attempt to bully you.
Yeah. And you know what? I could have limited Snafu's attacks a little better.
No, I don't. No, that's what I'm saying. Like Paul and everybody, like they automatically shut it down. Don't talk over me and backstage him. But you let him sit up here and it all works itself out. Okay. Even after Paul and I were yelling at each other, everything calms down. And maybe people need to see you don't have to backstage everybody. Like confrontation isn't always bad. It's not always bad. And so maybe you allowing this to happen and it working itself out is showing other people it can be done.
That's my hope. Thank you. Thank you. That is the hope. And I've imagined this, honestly. I've imagined the possibility that Paul may receive a transformation and that I might be credited with being a part of that. And then together we would be on, dude, we could be on stages together, traveling around, sharing our testimonies about transformation, moving forward towards waking up the world. Could do a lot of things, but there's another one. Welcome,
Jack, you're fucking smoking crack, bro.
I know.
You were smoking so much fucking crack, dude. How much more does he have to disrespect you for you to finally say, fucking get out of my life and just ignore the fuck out of him? What more? How much more are you going to take, bro?
I don't know.
100% serious, man.
Well,
Steve, Jack's looking for something in return. He just said it. He said if he can transform Paul and take credit for it, get credit for it.
Yeah. If I'm a part
of
wrong.
That's wrong thinking. You're not supposed to be seeking credit.
Oh, hey, Chuck. Hey,
for
Chuck.
helping another man.
Chuck, I'm interrupting because you're jumping to assumptions.
You just said it.
Chuck, I'm
you
offering
just said it.
And Chuck, you've obviously, in your confusion, you've jumped to a conclusion. So let me overcome your conclusion that I'm on here being manipulative.
I didn't say that.
You most certainly did.
I did not say you were being manipulative.
Chuck?
I said when you're in service to somebody else, if you're trying to seek credit for that service, then it's not coming from the heart.
So Chuck, how about instead of
go ahead, get mad. Come on.
Well, you're continuing to try to, it appears. Okay. So let's stop trying to get me to get mad. And how about show some respect that I know is available, because your words are disrespectful, Chuck. So don't add to it by fucking talking over me and interrupting me. I don't mean to be like this.
No.
So, Chuck, you're right. If someone is trying to do something for selfish motives, you're right. You can find a fault in that, Chuck. So go ahead and sit, and you can keep your fucking insulting opinions about me. But here, try to understand what I actually said was, I don't know if any of you can imagine, but the way I see that stream of someone who is popular, for multiple hours every single day, sharing anger and negativity, and a lot of it has been directed at me. Okay. So I see that as a problem, not just for me, but for others, because there's been a lot of deception spread, and I don't like people believing in lies. Okay. So, Chuck, selfishly, part of me wants to try to repair the damage to my reputation that Paulie and many others have chosen to destroy. Part of me wants to actually help a fellow man. I know that someone who goes around insulting others and spending a lot of time in arrogance and egoic energy, that's not fun. I've never been as wound up as that kid, but I know the behavior. I understand it. It's not fucking healthy. So, Chuck, admittedly, I have confidence in myself. I have faith in the power of truth, the transformative power of truth. And I believe that with care, with love, with persistence, that maybe Paul could change. Because if Paul could change and he and I could work together, I am confident we could find a way to get in front of the citizens of the United States government like I want to do.
Jack, pardon me for interrupting, but describe that change. What would that look like in Paul? Give me a 3-minute dissertation on what the fuck that would look like.
It would be very simple for him, and it's simple for anyone. Any one of us can choose to do this, but it requires a humbling. So it would be Paul in the same way, just less worked up. He'd be more relaxed. He'd be, I believe, more efficient, more effective, more fun. This is what I want to communicate to the damn government. The people in government, through the attorneys and the influence of the corporations, they understand business. Well, guess what? I do happen to understand business. And I know for a fact that the current economic model with the competitive structures of corporations, making every individual compete against each other, it's inefficient.
Yeah, but slip back to Paul for a minute. Slip back to that change. Slip back to, because
yes.
This is going on and on and on. It's a fucking recurring theme all over the place, it seems, with, is there a resolution? Is there something to seek? Because what I heard is Steve come in hot and say, what the fuck ever? Seriously? Again? And then you immediately said, well, if I could be responsible for the change,
you know what?
Change?
Hey, I want to help anyone. I see that in Paul's practice, he could be helping a lot more people. I haven't built up the following, the attention. I don't have the same energy and flair that he does, but I know how to be present. I know how to be at peace. And Steve, your question is valid. At what point do you give up? Well, as soon as I find alternatives to the options that I have, I'll walk away from everything.
So tell me, Jack, what does Paul give to you that you benefit from? What?
So far, So far, it's been fellowship and entertainment. In the very beginning, I gained a little bit of wisdom, picked up some of his different perspectives and explanations. But the core essence of what he's saying, I already understood that. So really, it's been entertainment and fellowship so far.
Could it be the attention a little bit? I mean, we're all guilty of wanting attention. Could it be that even though it's bad sometimes, the attention that you do get from him is consistent at best? I mean, it's consistent.
It's unhealthy. It's unproductive. So far, it's proven to be unhelpful.
Are you inspired by Paul?
He literally shits on you every time he comes up here. He shits on you. He
I know.
shits on you. And shits
I
on
know.
you. He shits on everybody. So you're not special. He
I
shits
know.
on everybody. He has nothing nice to say to anybody whatsoever. What could you
Amen,
possibly
Steve.
see that is a positive move for you to want to try to? You're never going to fix him. You have to come to a conclusion that he
Steve?
doesn't want to be fixed.
Steve,
He wants to be the way he is.
hey, actually, you're right. We have to assume he wants to be the way he is because that's how he is. You're right, Steve. And when Paul showed up today, I'm asking that same question. Why should I even want you around in the future? Because I am at that point.
Hey, Jack, just from the outside looking in, right, with you two's dynamics, I mean, I've seen you two do good shows in the past, right? But you've also had some ups and downs. But I get the vibe, right, that maybe somewhere along the line, right, you may have made him look little in front of his audience or somehow disrespected him in a way that, you know, I can't even imagine. But to me, it seems like he's trying to walk you down, if you understand what I'm saying, trying to get close to you just so he can finish you.
Yeah. It's a typical, I see him demonstrating a lot of typical patterns that manipulators, abusers would use. I'm familiar with it.
Why are
I
you
see
the
it.
target of his affection or bane of his existence? Though, why? I mean, there's it's one or the other. Excuse me.
I actually, I had this thought the other day. Scott, where are you at?
It's Scott.
I know. I had this thought the other day, and someone said something about I probably do think of Paul when I'm not together, and yep, I'm guilty of that. Shoot, what was that thought I was just thinking? There was a reason I brought that up.
What I just said, the bane of the existence or object of his affections.
Thank you, brother. At one point, when Z was trying to communicate with Paul, he asked Paul a great question. Who do you admire? Obviously, you know, he doesn't cooperate with conversations, so there really was no answer given. I think Paul sees me, and I think he admires me, and that's weird to him, so he's jealous.
Imagine me and you. I do. I think about you every night. It's only right. Come on, Jack, sing with me, man, like old days. You know, the crazy thing about this THC, you know why it's the devil's lettuce? The more you take of it, the more this becomes kind of fun, dealing with mental patients and triggered hoes.
It's the cannabis does allow our mind to open and not get so hung up on
you know what my favorite part of your fraudcast is? Every single time that Chuck calls you out for your bullshit, even though he hates me, and then you get him to like back it down and walk it back, and then he pays you the next day like a hoe. It's amazing. I love what you did there.
I didn't walk it back.
No,
I was just waiting for an opportunity. Number one, Jack, I was not lying. And number two, I did not call you a manipulator. I went by the words that you spoke.
Okay, so Chuck, all right, so Chuck,
you don't fucking yell at Chuck, Jack.
Wait,
and let him finish.
Wait.
Well, hold on here.
Chuck. Wait. Let me finish.
He contributes to this broadcast. You fucking let him finish, you scum.
You don't tell Jack how to run his show, Paul. This isn't your show.
Someone get Cynthia's Uber Eats XXXXXL. It's outside. There's a bus outside. It's go ahead.
Please let Chuck air himself, even though Chuck,
okay.
you better be honest and accurate. And tell you what, be accountable for your words. If they're wrong, you are wrong, and you better accept accountability. So please feel free.
Okay.
Continue to defend what you said.
I'm a firm believer in the walk with God. The prayer is to be a maximum service to God and others without expectations of any accolades, any pat on the backs.
Right.
Then it is a false premise.
Right.
Chuck, there's no disagreement, dude. Did you not fucking listen to my explanation?
Saying you're not doing that. Why are you not accepting
mad at
that?
me?
Chuck, we have
I
no
believe in the
disagreement.
walk with God.
So Chuck, the fact that you felt the need to tell me that means you found a disagreement with me, but I don't have a disagreement with you. I'm telling you that
you're taking it all.
Chuck. No, Chuck, you're right. You're right. I'm confused.
Fuck you, Jack. If Chuck's leaving, I'm leaving too. Bring me the fuck out right.
See you, Paul.
Bring Chuck back now, just out of spite. Come on.
You know what? That's kind of funny.
I'm sorry. Jack, I don't know why any of that just happened.
Exactly. Hey, I gotta admit, last night I think it was somebody was it was Lubass was asking Chuck, I don't know where you are, what state you're in, and Flow State's like, it literally says it in his name.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
I was like, that's priceless. That's
it was Ian and Z.
That was funny.
It was funny.
You gonna help that guy down there? He's saying that everyone on this channel's world is in chaos.
Well, you're up here too, Paul.
Yeah, my world like away from here is not in chaos. It's very orderly.
I seriously doubt that.
Well, you can doubt it all you like. You're entitled to your perspective. Sure you haven't stopped yet with your nonsense, so.
You got the spirit of that hot old mama in you.
Right.
Gagging you from behind now, or what?
More of your fantasies, huh? Now we know what you're into.
She's bending you over, isn't she, Paul?
Right. That's what a man would do with a woman, is get bent over by her. Wow. How fascinating. A look into the mind of the subconscious of Fat Scott, who claims to be a ladies' man.
So where's the value, Jack?
Inside and
where's the value in your panel members here? Because clearly he's not bringing any value.
Right, Steve. Right, Steve's been right for a while. I just want to say, even though we don't, I guess, like each other now, he's been right consistently lately. I just want to call it out.
What are you trying to do? Seriously, what the fuck?
Sorry, I came up here, Jack, because you let him fucking walk all over you and disrespect the fuck
I know, Steve. I love you, brother. I know you can't get over Paul, but that's
Jack,
on you.
Let him say
part of it he's been like really pathetic with the fixation on me, but I just been ignoring that. I just been ignoring that.
You know what? Actually, Paul,
not gonna sit up here.
Paul, because of you, I have had people that fucking avoid me on here. You have made my steps in my purpose more challenging. Good, Paul. You can stay the fuck gone. And so now I'm sure Steve's all pissy at me too, and everyone fucking finds something wrong with me. You know what, Chuck? You fucking started that. You can take your happy ass out too. I don't care.
For a minute, you know, your future. Can I comment on what you just said? That, you know, people don't come because they're afraid of the vitriol, stuff like that. So my point is that your trajectory, I think, will be infinitely better if you can control that maniacal bullshit that comes in to kind of thwart your thoughts or thwart some sense of camaraderie that's going on. Most of the time I see when that doesn't evolve into it. Now, if that's what it's always going to devolve to, you know, is chaos and, you know, one up. And
I'm ready to move on, Scott. Can we Stop describing the problem. No one really wants to bring any solutions besides
Well, that's
telling
what I
me
was
to
trying
move
to
on,
do.
right? Move on, Jack.
Jack.
I know, Steve. I know, brother. I love you, man. Thank you. The love is it's returned, man. Thank you.
Where did those hearts come from? Who made those hearts appear? Was that
I don't know.
Yeah, that was Steve.
Yeah, he's growing as a producer, man. He's getting good.
Yeah.
Jack, you are loved. You are a truly loved man, and I know sometimes you feel like you're not, but the way people reacted and came to help you and defend you, apart from me, I'm not even including me in that. Like, you are truly a loved man, and
I know.
I myself, sometimes it's hard for me to receive it because I don't always know how to receive love, and I just want you to know you're truly loved.
Thank you for that reminder. And I do know that. I do see it. Unfortunately, when people are confused, they think they're helping, but they're hurting. Paul is hurting. He thinks he's helping, but he's hurting me. Chuck wants to, instead of accepting the fact that I'm offering to try and I believe that we could help Paul. I'm not claiming to be able to do anything alone with Paul or with the government, but Chuck is up here. Instead of accepting the fact that I'm trying to help others, despite the fact that I have these other situations in my life, Chuck wants to sit here and fucking negate what I'm saying. I don't understand that. What is the purpose of your making sure I know, Chuck, that the Bible says don't do this? What's your purpose related to me, Chuck?
You said that you want to walk in the way of the Christ. I don't remember going around.
So you want to prove
in
me
the
wrong,
Bible.
Chuck? Chuck, is that your intention? You want to prove me wrong?
No. You're the one getting hot-headed.
Then what are you
All I
trying to
did,
do, Chuck?
I was
What are
just
you
pointing
trying to
out
do?
that if you're walking in the way of God, in the Spirit of God, I was just pointing out that that was not a true walk from what you
So
said.
Chuck, okay,
I
so
originally
Chuck,
came up.
Chuck, let's stick to this because you did what you said. Okay? You want to make sure that what you perceive of me is not the interpretation of the Christ that you hold. So you denied what I said you were doing. Chuck, you said, well, Jack, since you're trying to follow the way of the Christ, since you say you're trying to follow the way of the Christ, I'm here to prove that you are not doing it. That's what you're doing, Chuck. And I don't accept your doubts or disbelief. I receive the criticism. I'd love for anyone to show a little bit of, you know what? Praise God. Thank you, Lord. How may I serve you? How may I offer better understandings for you?
Well, what I originally came up here was when Snafu was up.
He's still in the back.
If somebody on their own decided they wanted to get the jab, that's their business.
Thank you.
I took the time and I did the research on what was offered. And as a personal decision, we decided personally what not to do or to do in the name of. But I cannot fault somebody else if they did their due diligence and thought that was the right thing for them to do. Then bless them, but don't hold it against them.
And
They weren't
also,
tied down. Go ahead. I'm done.
Thank you, Chuck. I do appreciate you saying that. And also, sometimes, like that shot I didn't take for me because I was scared or I was worried. I was living with someone whose body was failing them. Their health was frail. And I was doing everything I could to protect them. Had I not taken that and he died because of that, I could not have lived with myself. I simply couldn't have. I couldn't have done it. When you love somebody so unconditionally, you think about protecting them only. And I didn't even think about what side effects or anything about my body. My only concern is I have to do everything I can to protect this man. Like I was giving him shots, I was taking care of him on a daily basis. And I'm sorry that that decision offends a lot of people. And I know a lot of people have issues with that. And that's just a gap I have to stand in, and I'm okay with it. But I do appreciate people like you, Chuck, coming up and speaking, because I feel like y'all are just attacking that situation and nobody's asking me why. Nobody's asking me anything about it. And y'all yelling at me isn't trying to convince me I did the wrong thing. Like
Cynthia,
y'all are just
you made a
making it
decision
worse.
based on information given to you by the biggest propaganda machine ever, and I don't fault you, nor should anybody else. It's the largest propaganda campaign in the history of this planet. Period.
Man, like, and I don't know.
So,
just
Jack, earlier what you were saying is people divert you from your attention. That's all I was trying to get at, is saying that might not be the best thing to keep going with. Try and stick with your intention, and that might be a better route. Breaking news. Don't know if you want to hear it or not, but Matthew Perry from Friends drowned.
I know he drowned, Scott. This is the saddest day.
So there's no more.
What
Friends.
happened?
Matthew
Perry drowned.
54.
Well, he had the addiction problem for a long time.
See, that's exactly what I thought too, Chuck.
See, but hold on. This is another Mandela effect, because I swear I heard him dying of another cause of death before.
There was I think you're right. Years ago, there was some story out that he passed away, but he didn't. That was a freak.
Okay. Got you.
That was when he was in rehab, I think.
There was something weird, back in the 90s, I think. Even it was really, really early on when he had the problems originally.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, that guy,
it just makes you realize how frail life is. Only 54. That is young. That's a young, and we're sitting up here arguing over nothing. Over nothing.
Well, these lives can change and go very quickly. And Snafu, no, I'm not going to let you come up and just continue your fucking attack.
Oh, shit, snaps.
He's not house trained yet, Jack, but keep working with him.
Well,
Snaps, you got the
he's
pit bull
getting
in
better. Snaps is getting better.
He's not good enough.
You might have to send him back to the breeder.
Oh shit! Back to the breeder.
That's funny, Scott. That's funny.
Hey, the issue on the choices to protect or to do what you think is best. Yeah, there's too many secrets in that. And brothers and sisters, this is why I am pursuing what I'm pursuing. I believe that the doctors who care should be able to see what the fuck is in those pharmaceutical in the new developments that have been shared throughout the world. I believe there should be some transparency in what is going on. And that can happen very soon. But to run around judging and making accusations, false narratives about someone just because of something from the past, fuck you, Snafu.
That rhymes. I think there's a lyric there, Jack. keep it going.
Well, that was on behalf of what I've felt from the attacks on Cynthia. Now, I don't know what, and now he's saying that
that never
you're
happened.
promoting.
That
Okay.
never happened.
I didn't think
that's
so.
not even in my character to tell anybody how to be or what to do. If I don't
That's
tell
what I
you
thought.
what faith to walk, I'm sure as the hell
Right.
I'm going to tell you what medical stuff to do. It's
Right.
him making up lies.
Well, and snafu, you claim to know that there's big fish in the sea. You claim to know there's these problems. And what are you doing, dude? Running around interrupting my stream, Paul's stream, everybody's stream, so you can get your damn attention fixed, dude. Grow the hell up.
Well, there's some attention being paid to you and paid to Paul and some other people around here. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, snafu, aren't you going after the low-hanging fruit? There's got to be some Joe Rogans and shit out there, maybe Russell Brand and, a few others you could say, hey, they're pedos, fucking porno mongers, whatever the fuck you want to say.
You probably have typing. Is that coming through the audio?
The private chat. No. I don't hear anything.
Thank you.
I'm some noise cancellation.
It's okay, Snaps.
Here, I'm engaged with the chat here. I think that's Tarek. I'm not sure.
Oh my God. What is with that guy?
See what Paul, his heart has been open with love and more.
Man,
You're
no.
looking for validation from blood-sucking creature. Paul is a blood-sucking creature, dude. You are so far up Paulie's ass.
Oh my God. Listen, that guy right there. At first I thought Wizard was that, but this guy is taking it to a whole nother level.
I saw someone, I think it was Joe, someone challenged Tarek and calling him out on his just, yes, man. Yes, daddy. Yes, everything you say is correct, daddy. Mm-hmm. And someone called him out on it. He couldn't come up with anything wrong.
He's a wizard. He's a different level of a wizard.
Holy cow.
He's creepy. That guy's very creepy. He's creepy.
Yes, thank you for saying that, London, because I thought I was the only one. And then I'm thinking, why am I being such a bitch? But he is creepy. He has a creepy vibe to him.
Creepy. He stays in Halloween mode 24/7, that guy. He's creepy. Yeah, he's creepy.
Indeed.
This is our life, guys. This is what we're living with. What the hell do we do with this?
Try to be the light in a dark world. That's all we can do. Try to be the light.
Cynthia, thank you. You reminded me of what I wanted, what I've been learning. Okay. I'm sorry.
No.
Crap. We've got to be able to love who we are. That's the key. I think that's what you were saying. You said something.
I said to be a light in the dark world. Yeah.
Yes, we are here wherever we are. It's not so much what we do. It is our state of being. What is it we are being? We can tell ourselves we're doing good, we're getting things done, but are we?
No.
What matters is if we're going to be productive, that's what we'll be. Then we'll do stuff. But I see a lot of people just, your point was light, being the light. We live in a crazy world. We're all on these unique paths, and you got to give it up. You can either laugh or cry. Honestly, those are really the options in this world. Laugh or cry, fear or love. I choose to love, and each of us can become that light of hope, that light of reasoning, that
reason to laugh or smile. Have you ever just met
Yes.
into somebody and they were just so heavy, you walked away, you're like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? So when, like, for me personally, when I'm that way, I stay away from people because I don't want to pass it off. And like, y'all don't even know this last week the things I've been going through. It would be crazy and insane, but I'm not gonna come on here and bring it to y'all.
Come on, tell us what's going on, Cynthia.
Oh no, Scott,
you
I'm
brought
not.
it up. We gotta hear it now.
But what I'm saying
Don't
is
slow down.
you
Keep
don't
going.
bring it. You just. I used to volunteer at an art museum, and there was an art exhibit, and the whole point of the art exhibit was to give more than you take. And so you are supposed to come and like just make people happy, just encourage them. That's why I'm so encouraging to you. That's why I'm encouraging to Flo. That's why I'm encouraging to Steve. Just sometimes you just got to be that encouragement, and that's all that somebody needs. You don't have to do great miraculous things. Just be a light. Make the room lighter. Make someone smile. Be a light. That makes sense.
Cynthia, thank you. That is a great reminder. And actually, that kind of brings back to where I was earlier with that video from Aaron Abke.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You familiar with him?
No.
Oh.
I thought that was the other Aaron, not that Aaron.
No, different Aaron.
Okay.
This is a YouTube creator, and I find a lot of inspiration from his work. Today he gave a great reminder on expectations, reducing our expectations, because expectations are a sign of attachment. And for us to be free, we want to be grateful and detached. And with practice, it comes pretty simply. I don't know. Guys, we ran pretty long today for me.
Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt your closing.
No,
but
go ahead.
why did he say be detached? What was the thought process behind detachment? And I do understand that to some point, but on the other side of things, I don't know that that's really good.
Would you mind if I answered that, Jack?
Please.
In my Bible study, Scott, we're studying in the book of John, and in the book, there's a gentleman by the name of Nicodemus who comes and sees Jesus. Hang on one second, my phone's dying. Who comes and sees Jesus at night because he had some questions to ask Jesus, and his name, hang on, my charger's messing up. Oh, and his name is Nicodemus, and he's like the Jewish leader, right? He's like the like the Jewish priests go to him to learn, right? And so he comes at night, and so he asks, how come people keep calling you, the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords? And Jesus was like, well, you're from the Sarhegian. I can't say that right. You should know. And they had a conversation, and then he went back home. And you can just read that and just think, okay, well, no big deal. But that when I read that verse, some things really stuck out to me. He went at night because he didn't want people to see him and going and talking to Jesus, because Jesus was kind of going against everything that the Jews were saying. Like, they were thinking it was going to be some great king, some, comes from a high power. They didn't think it was going to be Jesus that was going to be the Messiah. So this man was so wise and so smart, and he knew that the Savior was coming, because it didn't look like what he thought it was going to look like, or that bloodline that it should have came from. He didn't recognize it, what's in front of him. And for me, that encouraged me. Don't be so caught up in what I think it's going to be, that I already have a picture in my head that when it's in front of me, I can't see it. Does that make sense?
For me, it did. I think
it does, but I mean, there's no. Go ahead, Jack. I don't mean to interrupt you.
For the idea of detachment, when we become attached to our identities, to our beliefs or to other people. It's normal to do, but then we have an expectation that it'll always be that way, that they will always be there, that, you know, we'll always be the same way. But when life changes and life brings change, if we don't have that attachment, then the pain isn't as deep. And we can each kind of prepare ourselves ahead of losing things by recognizing I am a part of all this, but none of this is mine.
What's wrong with the experience, though? What's wrong with the loss? What's wrong with there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything. As you're familiar quite well, I lost my mother. But in the loss, you recognize the beauty of what had been found. I was fortunate enough to have the last couple years here with her. And I don't know how I missed it as much as I should have recognized it. I did intuitively know that this was special, but it was a lot more special than I expected. You know, I mean, and you know that's so true that you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true, and you know there's blessings all around us. And Jack, just speaking back to the derailments that you face on a daily basis, they're not going to help you find what you're looking for.
I know.
It's just not.
I know. Here's a thought though. We have no control whatsoever when someone comes in or out of our lives. We don't control who comes in or out of our lives.
It's your reaction. You can control how you react to this, how you respond.
Right.
That's what you control.
Right. And so, yeah, when people come join my life and they offer me things that aren't helpful, I can either help them correct their behavior, try to help them correct their behavior, or push them aside. And that's, you know, I've been trying to find the balance, find the way with Paul. But, you know, the thing is, it really doesn't matter. It seriously does not matter what people think. Especially with me. You know, I know what is true. And what I've been learning in my experience is I free up a lot of time when I don't fight as much about what is true.
Free up a lot of brain power too. You free up a lot of brain power because you don't have to go back. And you know what's easier to do too is stick with the truth. You free up a lot of brain power when you just stick with the truth. You know, a lot of people get hung up on the bullshit and the lies and the casting aspersions, the innuendos, the assumptions and presumptions, you know, and when you just throw shit out like that, I mean, then you don't have any real attachment or grounding to the truth. Nothing really matters. So I don't really think that's a great way to go, but tends to be some of the past. What do you call it reading right now? If you live in a reaction space, you're late. That's true. But if you live in the future, you're also predicting something that hasn't happened yet. And you might be reacting to something that's just not even going to be there. So,
hey, and this is where the detachment comes in. If you have no expectations, you can just flow.
That's where I was going. Detachment from what? You got to attach yourself to the grounding, to the fucking here and now, to the present. And you have to attach yourself to who and what you are so that you can identify the changes that need to be made. If you don't attach yourself to you, to the man in the mirror, there's no change is going to happen because you don't see what needs to be done.
Yeah. Hey, I'm feeling like wrapping this up. Not to be dismissive of what you were just offering, Scott, but
okay, I'll go first.
Oh,
you know, it's always been my firm belief, and my belief only, that if I get angry over what somebody says, there must be a little piece of truth in it. And with that, I'll say good night.
Vice, Chuck. Pray you're well. You're in my prayers, you and your family.
Yeah, Chuck, you're welcome to believe whatever you want. Continue to believe I'm not worthy of listening to, or I'm not doing a good enough job. Continue to find reasons to make sure publicly, too. Make sure, Chuck, publicly find any little detail and imperfection you can find, Chuck, and make sure it's true, and then hang your hat on it. Fucking God bless you, brother.
And thank you for that, Jack. Tell him thank you, Jack. Say thank you for bringing more attention to me.
Yeah, but you know, the attention, what good is it? It doesn't,
Well,
it hasn't helped my purpose.
We'll determine that later. I don't care. If you're playing the baby face, you're playing the heel, who gives a shit? Just keep going forward as long as people are paying to see you.
Oh, they're paying to have Trek's wrench taken, the unslaved truth. They're saying that he's being disrespectful towards you in the chat.
You know, I actually saw that other suggestion from Sterling, HMFIC of Steve. Thank you, brother. I actually had already done that. God bless you, though. That's reinforcement for my choice. And the reason I did, I'm generous with the wrenches. I don't really care. And I think I enjoy having it because, like Tommy pointed out, you can see the channels of other people. But I took the wrench because, yeah, he is an absolute just yes man, completely.
Yeah,
He's,
can I say something?
he's a character.
If I say this, you might not. Oh, excuse me, Senator. I didn't see you talking.
Go ahead, Scott.
Ahmed, the insane terrorist. Have you ever seen him? Do you know who he is? Pull that up.
Alrighty. Well, it was
Jeff
good.
It's a Jeff Dunham character, and that's the first time I saw Tarek. It reminded me of Ahmed.
He reminds me of Popeye.
Really?
Yeah, like I just envision him with skinny legs and an upper body. And his
Tell me if that,
chin.
you don't have to put it on the screen, just tell me if that calls him to mind or not. Or put it on the screen if you want.
What are we doing?
Never mind, don't worry about it.
Scott things, Scottisms. That's what we're doing.
I just can't get that. When I first saw Tarek, the first thought I had was he reminded me of Jeff Dunham's character. And I've never been able to get that out of my head every time I see him.
All right.
So if you ever look at that character, you might have the same experience. So at least we'll leave that as a wrap up. Jack, thank you for the evening. Have a good evening, my friend.
Thank you, Scott. God bless you.
You're getting so great at these, Jack. I'm enjoying watching you grow. I know there's probably days it doesn't feel like you're doing great, but you are. Continue to go, continue to grow, and I guess just give more than you take.
Oh, beautiful message. Thank you, sister. I appreciate that you recognize, you see the growth. I feel the growth. I know I have grown. And brothers and sisters, please see the growth in you. You are the most important one in your experience. Okay, it doesn't place you above others, not in the furthest stretch. But what it does mean is that your first place of awareness, your first focus in this massive world of so many things to pay attention to, your first focus can be and should be. It's only should be if you want to improve. But if you want to improve, your first focus of attention should be on yourself. If you don't want to improve, then just continue to do what other people tell you. everyone's got advice. So just follow the advice of others and you can fit in just fine. You can conform. You can even obey. You might even succeed and get promoted if you obey real good and real hard, real creative ways of obeying. Fuck. Luck, oh dear. Luck, oh dear. Praise be and praise God. This has been a long stream, but brothers and sisters, in the final, just to retouch again, men, brothers, I'm speaking to you. I believe it is time for us to all do a better job. I know I get rough around the edges, and I know there's some times that people don't find comfort around me, but I'm improving. I'm self-aware. I'm watching myself, and I'm trying to grow. And I encourage all of you men. It's time for us to become leaders. It's time for us to stop allowing excuses to hold us back and blaming our responsibilities, blaming our opportunities as though there's some sort of burden. We can all become greater leaders in our lives with the purpose of creating, sharing a safe place for the women, for the children, for the other men. No reason to make everyone uncomfortable around each other. And, love without condition, love without expectation, love being you so that you can serve. We only have the opportunity to love, to serve, to do anything, to improve, to learn. That only happens right now. Now is where life happens. And so, brothers and sisters, right now, starting now, I encourage you, receive some of my faith. Take some. I'll pick up some more. I'll replenish it by tomorrow, I'm sure. So take some of my faith with you. Faith in the future. Trust that future of hope and beauty is there. The abundance, the prosperity, the solutions. They are all there waiting to be revealed, discovered for you. So starting today, please have faith in your future. And I encourage you, establish your practice. You'll feel better about it. I'm confident. Logic, reasoning, my own results have proven this. If you start expanding your practice, worship. What is worship? Time, attention, intention, the purpose to know, to devote. Time and attentions. Well, the practice of worship. Worship the good. Worship the beautiful. Worship the true. Figure out what those things are for you. Build yourself in the good, the beautiful, the true, and share that shit with others. That's what life's about. Hey, brothers and sisters, thank you again for the Talcottian drama, the reality show that is, but the purpose is some faith, encouragement, and hope, because I see a future for us all with peace. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you, and God bless.